Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to take a quick look at working with brushes. These have become a really essential part of my workflow and they are incredibly versatile. I absolutely recommend them to everybody I talk to that I know works in Lightroom. I've had a few people ask me about how versatile they can really be, or they buy a bundle and they say, there's really only one or two good ones, and we tend to gravitate to the same ones if we buy a bundle from somebody, but what I firmly believe is that even the ones that aren't initially ideal for you, you can always adjust. So let's take a look at how to do that and why they're so incredibly versatile. So we have this photo of this bicycle against a fence, and I applied a preset to it. I applied the Sunset Pop preset from my Essentials toolkit, and I'm pretty happy with it. It looks okay, it looks great, but it needs a little bit more of a pop, a little bit more of an oomph. It needs to have more of a focal point. And so I'm going to try and make the bicycle my focal point, add a little bit more warmth from the sun, which is coming off from the right side of the frame, and maybe warm up the fence a little bit more. So we're going to dive right into brushes. And the brushes that you have currently installed in your Lightroom are going to be seen from either the graduated filter or the adjustment brush pull down menus. So if you go to, for example, the graduated filter, you have the pull down list, and here are all the brushes that I currently have in my library. So we're going to start with the Essentials focal point, and I'm actually going to start with it as it's an adjustment brush. And I typically use the brush for this preset because it's really great for selecting what areas you want to really emphasize. It's great for events. It was really created for event photos, but I do like to use it for other types of photos every once in a while. So we're going to use it here. And I'm going to just kind of freely apply it over the bike, which is my intended focal point. And now I can see that it's actually a little bit brighter than I would want it to be. It brightened it up a bit more than I would like. So rather than deleting that brush completely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it. And when you adjust a brush during editing, the great thing is it adjusts the brush at that time. It doesn't change the actual brush that's in your library. It's just a modified version of the brush for that one-time use. So I'm going to actually go a little bit darker. Let's do maybe like a -0.1. There, so I really like that. It didn't brighten it up. I don't feel like it drew any unwanted attention. I like how it looks. It sharpened up that bike a little bit. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to work a little bit more on getting some emphasis onto the corners, just a little bit of a vignetting effect, but not just a traditional vignette. So let's start with the graduated filter, which is really good for any effect that you want to apply on the edges of the frame. And I want to emphasize that sun that is hitting from this right side. Now it's late in the day when this photo was taken, so the sun is quite low, and so you're not getting that really strong, warm, bright sun, so it's hard to tell what direction the sun is actually coming from. But I know it's coming from this side of the frame, so I'm going to go ahead and apply it from here. Clearly it is quite a strong effect for this photo. So I'm going to pull it back a bit and then stretch it out a little bit more, which tends to kind of soften the effect, soften that edge. And let's take a look at that. So I like that, but now this whole side of the photo feels quite cold. So I'm going to apply that same brush, knowing that I'm going to have to make some adjustments to it. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it this way. And as expected, it's way too warm. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the temperature on that a little bit. And it's also quite bright. I can see that it brightened it up. So I'm going to pull back that exposure and the shadows, because I do want that side to be a little bit more in the shadows. So I do like that. So we're going to go ahead and click done. And I feel like it's almost there. So I'm going to do one last graduated filter, and we're going to go to the darken brush from the Essentials Toolkit. I'm going to darken up this bottom area. The green was a little bit distracting for my taste. So there we go. We have what we started out with, which is the photo with one of the presets applied to it. Looked lovely as is. And this is the final. It's got a little bit more life to the colors, a little more warmth. The bicycle has a little bit more of a sharpness and clarity to it. And that's more of what I wanted to go for. So I hope this shows you that brushes can be extremely versatile and that you can modify them while you're working so that they are the perfect fit for that photo. I hope this has been really helpful, and I will see you guys next time.